Like an two-time NBA champion saying what we all thought. And this is obviously this is Michael Thompson. This is a player who, a big thing is, like, played with Magic Johnson. Like, this is one of the huge things.
This isn't just another hot take. This isn't just a random talking head. We're talking about a two-time NBA champion, Michael Thompson, stepping forward to voice a sentiment many of us have secretly, or not so secretly, harbored. His words cut through the noise, validating the growing concerns around Caitlin Clark's utilization. The weight of his championship rings, the legacy of playing alongside a legend like Magic Johnson, amplifies every syllable. This isn't mere opinion, it's a seasoned veteran, intimately familiar with championship dynamics and player development, laying bare the uncomfortable truth about the Indiana Fever's handling of their generational talent. It's a seismic shift when a voice of this caliber joins the chorus of criticism, transforming whispers into undeniable accusations. This is an indictment from the highest echelons of basketball. The basketball world held its breath when Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA. A superstar, a game-changer, a phenomenon. Everyone expected the Indiana Fever to build an empire around her. Instead, we've witnessed a baffling disregard for her unique talents, a strategic misstep that has left fans frustrated and critics scratching their heads. But now, the silence has been shattered. An NBA champion, a Showtime Laker, has stepped into the fray, and his critique isn't just harsh, it's historically informed. He isn't just calling out a coach, he's drawing parallels to some of the most infamous coaching blunders in NBA history. Situations where coaches famously failed to recognize and leverage the genius of their star players. What makes Thompson's statement so powerful? It's his lineage. He's not just an analyst, he's part of NBA royalty. He played with Magic Johnson, one of the most transcendent talents the game has ever seen. He understands what it takes to build a team around a generational talent, and what happens when that vision is corrupted. So when he speaks, the basketball world listens. The message is clear. The Fever are not just making mistakes, they are actively suppressing the very essence of what makes Caitlin Clark special. Is this simply poor coaching, or something far more insidious? Thompson's experience with the Showtime Lakers under Paul Westhead casts a long shadow, suggesting a pattern of coaching ego overriding common sense. The stakes here couldn't be higher. Clark isn't just another rookie, she's the future of the league. To squander her potential, to strip away her superpowers, as Thompson puts it, isn't just a disservice to her, it's a disservice to the entire sport. Can the Fever afford to ignore this championship wisdom?
Where it was like, he played with Magic Johnson on the Showtime Lakers. So this is something where it's like, his opinion does hold weight. This is not just a random person. This is the person who was on the Showtime Lakers. We all know the situation of like Magic Johnson being sick of Paul West.
Thompson's credentials aren't just for show. Playing alongside Magic Johnson on the Showtime Lakers provides an unparalleled perspective on player-centric team building. He witnessed firsthand how a franchise player, a transcendent talent, can elevate an entire organization. He understands the delicate balance between coaching philosophy and superstar empowerment. The reference to Magic Johnson being sick of Paul Westhead isn't just a historical anecdote, it's a direct, chilling parallel. Westhead famously tried to rein in Magic, to force him into a system that stifled his innate genius. The Lakers almost imploded because of it. Thompson, a first-hand witness to that tumultuous period, now sees echoes of Westhead's disastrous approach in how Stephanie White is handling Caitlin Clark. This isn't just an observation, it's a warning steeped in NBA history. The implications are enormous. Is the WNBA repeating the mistakes of the past? The ghost of Paul Westhead looms large over this discussion, and Thompson, a man who lived through that era, is pulling back the curtain on a deeply troubling pattern. Westhead, for all his tactical acumen, failed to grasp the revolutionary nature of Magic Johnson's game. He wanted to mold Magic into a traditional point guard, a system player, rather than unleash the full, freewheeling, positionless brilliance that made him a superstar. The result? Near mutiny and a critical juncture in Lakers history. Thompson's implicit comparison isn't hyperbole. It's a stark reflection on how easily coaching ego can derail a team with generational talent. Now, fast forward to today. Stephanie White and the Indiana Fever. We're seeing a similar narrative unfold with Caitlin Clark. Her superpowers, her limitless range, her unparalleled court vision, her ability to dictate pace, are being constrained, not celebrated. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of her value proposition. Thompson's commentary isn't just about individual player performance. It's about the very philosophy of basketball management. Think about it. When you draft a player like Clark, you don't fit her into your system. You build your system around her. You empower her. You give her the keys to the franchise. Anything less is a betrayal of her talent and the immense investment made in her. But are the Fever truly committed to this philosophy, or are they prioritizing something else entirely? The answer, according to Thompson, and increasingly many others, seems grim. What does this mean for Caitlin Clark's future if the head coach refuses to adapt?
And to this day, Paul Westhead still thinks he was right. Still thinks he was right in the Magic Johnson situation. And I can guarantee you that Steph White will probably argue that she was right no matter what in this situation here. That being said, this was on the Jason Whitlock show, and look, I'm being very, very clear. Like, I'm not.
The chilling part. Paul Westhead to this day believes he was right. That stubborn adherence to a flawed philosophy, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, is a cautionary tale. Thompson's stark prediction that Stephanie White will likely cling to her own conviction of being right no matter what reveals a deep cynicism born from experience. It's a testament to the ego that can blind coaches, especially when faced with unconventional talent. The segment's mention of Jason Whitlock is secondary. What matters is the gravitas Thompson brings. He's not just rehashing old news, he's drawing a direct line between historical coaching hubris and the current crisis engulfing the Indiana Fever. The past, it seems, is condemned to repeat itself. So, what does this mean for Caitlin Clark's future if the head coach refuses to adapt? This isn't just about a few bad games or a slow start to a rookie season. This is about a systemic failure to understand and nurture a generational talent. The Paul Westhead analogy is not just apt, it's terrifying. Because if history repeats itself, we're not just looking at a few lost games for the Fever. We're looking at potentially stifling the growth of the most impactful player to enter the WNBA in decades. Thompson's point isn't about blaming individuals. It's about identifying a fundamental flaw in approach. He's seen this playbook before and he knows how it ends, with frustration, underperformance, and a star player potentially looking for an exit. The Fever drafted Caitlin Clark with the first overall pick, a move that promised a new era for the franchise and the league. Yet the actions on the court suggest a bizarre reluctance to capitalize on her strengths. Why are they so resistant to unleash her? Why are they seemingly determined to fit a square peg into a round hole? Thompson's voice carries weight precisely because he's witnessed similar battles between revolutionary talent and rigid coaching philosophies. He knows the Magic Johnson situation could easily be Clark's. Is the WNBA ready for another superstar demanding a change of scenery because her coach won't let her be herself?
Caitlin's superpowers. And when you draft a player like Caitlin, like a Steph Curry, a Magic, an Isaiah Thomas, of course, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, when you have a player of that caliber, of a Wemby, you play to their strengths and you build around a franchise player such as that. And it seems like they brought the franchise player in to make them play the way they want to play.
This is the core of Thompson's argument. The Fever have taken away Caitlin's superpowers. He rattles off a list of legendary players: Steph Curry, Magic, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, even Wemby. To illustrate a universal truth in sports, when you draft a player of that caliber, you don't ask them to conform, you build around them. You amplify their strengths. You don't bring in a franchise-altering talent and then force them to play a role that diminishes their unique abilities. It's basketball 101, yet the Fever seem to be intentionally defying it. Instead of empowering her, they're trying to make her fit their mold, a mold that clearly wasn't designed for a player like Clark. This isn't just a critique, it's a profound condemnation of their entire strategy. What exactly are the Fever trying to achieve by doing this? The concept of superpowers in sports is crucial. It refers to those singular, transcendent abilities that make a player truly elite. For Caitlin Clark, it's her unparalleled shooting range, her audacious passing, her ability to control the tempo of a game from anywhere on the court. These aren't just skills, they are fundamental components of her genius. To strip them away, to force her into a more conventional, less aggressive role, is to fundamentally misunderstand her value. Thompson's comparison to other legends underscores the magnitude of this error. Imagine telling Steph Curry to stop shooting from 30 feet, or advising Magic Johnson to play a slower, more deliberate game. It's unthinkable. Yet, with Clark, that's precisely what appears to be happening. The Fever, it seems, are attempting to homogenize a unique talent to sand down her edges until she fits a pre-existing, and frankly unremarkable system. This isn't just tactical misjudgment, It's a failure of vision. When you have a player who can redefine the game, you don't ask them to play like everyone else. You lean into their distinctiveness. You free them. You watch them soar. But what if the Fever's coaching staff, and perhaps even some of her teammates, aren't ready for that kind of revolutionary player? What if they're actively resisting it?
They've shown zero care about building around Caitlin Clark the player. I'm not saying they haven't tried to build around Caitlin Clark the person. There's a big difference. I think there's a big difference when it comes to them not respecting Caitlin Clark the person and the player.
This distinction is absolutely vital. The Fever have shown zero care about building around Caitlin Clark the player, even if they've tried to support Caitlin Clark the person. It's a nuanced but devastating point. Off-court support, media training, community engagement, these are all crucial for any rookie. But none of it matters if the on-court strategy fundamentally undermines the player's performance. The speaker emphasizes this critical difference, highlighting that mere personal support cannot compensate for a complete failure to integrate a player's skills into the team's basketball philosophy. They're treating her like a marketing asset, not a basketball prodigy. This isn't just an oversight, it's a strategic betrayal of her talent. How can a team expect to win when they intentionally sideline their biggest weapon? The separation between Caitlin Clark the person and Caitlin Clark the player is a lens through which we can understand the Fever's bewildering approach. They seem perfectly content to embrace the phenomenon of Caitlin Clark. The ticket sales, the viewership, the cultural impact. But the player, the one whose revolutionary game commanded national attention and transformed college basketball, that player seems to be an afterthought in their strategic planning. This creates a bizarre paradox. The Fever are benefiting immensely from her star power, yet simultaneously failing to equip her for success on the court. It's like buying a Ferrari and then insisting on driving it in first gear. The potential is there, the engine is roaring, but the team is actively preventing it from reaching its full speed. This isn't just frustrating for fans, it's detrimental to Clark's development, and frankly disrespectful to her unparalleled skill set. A player of her caliber deserves a system tailored to her strengths, a coach who understands how to unleash her, and teammates who are willing to adapt. But is that what she's getting? Or is there another agenda at play? One that prioritizes existing team dynamics over maximum.
And it now seems like Caitlin's job is to not get in the way of Kelsey Mitchell. That Kelsey Mitchell was there before Caitlin. We owe it to Kelsey Mitchell to build a team around her. And that's not how it works. And that's not how it works at all. Like, not watching as long as Stephanie White is the coach. Indiana Fever Stephanie White says what.
Here's where the true absurdity lies. Thompson, through the speaker's reiteration, reveals that Caitlin's job is to not get in the way of Kelsey Mitchell. This isn't just about a co-star. It's about a clear pecking order that completely flips conventional wisdom on its head. The idea that a franchise player, a #1 overall pick, should defer to a veteran simply because she was there before Caitlin is anathema to winning basketball. Thompson unequivocally states, that's not how it works, and that's not how it works at all. This isn't loyalty, it's a misguided sense of obligation overriding strategic logic. The audience reaction being read by the speaker, Stephanie White, says what everyone's been saying. He's speaking the truth. Further validates Thompson's take. It's a bold declaration. The Fever are prioritizing seniority over supremacy. Is this truly the path to a championship? The concept of earning your stripes or respecting the veterans is deeply ingrained in sports culture. But there's a critical distinction between respecting veteran leadership and actively suppressing a generational talent to accommodate existing dynamics. The Fever's approach, as revealed by Thompson, seems to fall firmly into the latter. To ask Caitlin Clark, a player drafted to transform a franchise, to not get in the way of a teammate, is not just a tactical blunder. It's a profound misjudgment of priorities. Consider the implications. You bring in a superstar, someone who can single-handedly change the trajectory of your organization, and then your primary directive for them is to diminish their impact. It's an almost unfathomable strategy for a team genuinely aiming for contention. Thompson's blunt assessment, that's not how it works at all, cuts to the heart of the issue. He's seen how successful franchises integrate new talent, how they adapt and evolve to maximize their most potent weapons. The Fever, by contrast, seem to be resisting this natural evolution, opting instead for a static, seniority-based hierarchy. What does this mean for the team's long-term success, and more importantly, for Caitlin Clark's patience?
He knows as well as anyone as well. Michael Thompson was a #1 overall pick. So like he wasn't a bum. People want to call Michael Thompson a bum because of his points per game average when he when he played for the Lakers. But like, Michael Thompson.
Thompson isn't just a former Laker. He was a #1 overall pick himself, a star in his own right before joining the Showtime dynasty. The speaker pushes back on the idea of calling Thompson a bum because of his later points per game average, revealing a crucial insight. Thompson chose to sacrifice individual stats for team success. He entered the league as a 1.5 2-point per game scorer. He knew what it was like to be the primary offensive option. This personal experience makes his critique even more potent. He's not just an observer. He's a veteran who made a deliberate choice to integrate his game into a championship contender, understanding the nuances of that sacrifice. This personal history adds immense weight to his words. How many current Fever players are truly willing to make that sacrifice for Clark? Thompson's personal journey is a powerful counterpoint to the Fever's current predicament. He was a legitimate star, a #1 pick, a primary scorer. He didn't have to play a complementary role. But when he joined the Lakers, he understood the assignment. His role was to make Magic and Kareem even better, to facilitate a championship. He consciously chose to recalibrate his game, to embrace a different identity for the greater good. This wasn't forced upon him. It was a strategic decision born of maturity and a deep understanding of winning basketball. This experience gives him an unparalleled perspective when he looks at the Indiana Fever. He sees a team that should be inspiring similar sacrifices and strategic adaptations for their new superstar. Instead, he sees a roster and a coaching staff that seems unwilling to make the necessary adjustments. He understands that greatness often requires selflessness, but that selflessness must be channeled effectively. His own career arc directly challenges the notion that players should cling to their old roles, especially when a transcendent talent arrives. The question then becomes, if an NBA champion, a former #1 pick, understood the necessity of adaptation for team success, why can't the Indiana Fever? Are they prioritizing individual comfort over collective victory, and at what cost to Caitlin Clark?
That was his choice, and he knows as well as anyone. You know what? Like I want to play around Magic. I want to play this style. I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to sacrifice my individual stats. Whereas it's like we saw DeWanna Bonner coming in, and DeWanna Bonner wanting to be the star. We saw Natasha Howard coming in talking about winning MVP.
Thompson's decision to sacrifice my individual stats to play around Magic is a stark contrast to what he observes in the WNBA. He directly calls out players like DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard, who, upon joining their respective teams, seemed more focused on winning MVP or being the star. This isn't just a casual observation. It's a fundamental indictment of player mentality in the WNBA, particularly in the context of a superstar like Clark. Winning championships, Thompson implies, requires a willingness to adapt, to defer, and to embrace a role that maximizes the team's best player, even if it means personal sacrifice. The Fever roster, it appears, is filled with players who haven't grasped this crucial lesson. Is this a systemic problem within the league, or just a failure of leadership within the Fever? This isn't about shaming individual players for having ambition. Every athlete dreams of being an MVP, of being the star. But Thompson's point is about context. When a player of Magic Johnson's or Caitlin Clark's magnitude arrives, the landscape shifts. The team's collective goal must become empowering that player, even if it means others adjust their expectations for individual accolades. His critique isn't exclusive to the Fever, but it certainly highlights their struggle. If veterans are more concerned with their own statistical output or maintaining their established pecking order, rather than facilitating Clark's game, then the team is doomed to mediocrity. True team success, especially with a generational talent, requires a collective reorientation. It demands selflessness, strategic understanding, and a shared vision. Thompson's direct comparison to past WNBA players illustrates a worrying trend. The league, or at least some teams within it, may not yet have fully embraced the concept of building around a singular dominant force. This isn't just about the Fever, it's a broader commentary on the WNBA's evolution. Are the players and coaches mature enough to adapt to the arrival of a true revolutionary like Caitlin Clark, or will their egos?
People came into Indiana thinking their role was going to be to outshine Kane. People are in Indiana thinking it's their team, and we know that, and he's not wrong. He is absolutely not wrong with everything he said, calling out Stephanie White, calling out the Fever. But
this is the mic drop moment. People are in Indiana thinking it's their team, and we know that. Thompson's blunt assessment, unequivocally endorsed by the speaker, exposes the deeply ingrained issue within the Fever locker room and organization. It's not just a misstep, It's a fundamental power struggle. This isn't just about strategy. It's about culture. How can a team ever win when its own players are actively resisting the talent meant to elevate them? This is perhaps the most damning indictment of all. When a team's established players harbor "this is our team" mentality, it inevitably leads to resistance against any new, dominant force. It breeds resentment and a subtle, or not so subtle, unwillingness to adapt. Thompson, with his championship pedigree, understands that true team success comes from embracing and empowering your best player, not clinging to past hierarchies. The speaker's agreement with Thompson is emphatic. This isn't just perception, it's reality. The Fever organization, by failing to establish a clear vision for Clark's integration, has allowed this internal conflict to fester. It's a leadership vacuum at its core. When players prioritize their own status over the strategic imperative of leveraging Clark's talent, the entire structure crumbles. This isn't just a WNBA problem, it's a human nature problem. Egos are powerful, and the fear of losing relevance can be a potent motivator. The championship teams overcome this. They unite around a common purpose. The Fever, it seems, are doing the opposite. What will it take for them to realize that their team can only truly succeed if it becomes Caitlin Clark's team, at least in terms of strategic leadership?